we're back, so it must be Saturday.
Yes, it is. Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are back with Glasshouse Presents Throwing Stones. And we got a
And
great show today.
yeah, yep. I'm really excited about this one. I tend to be excited about these shows, or I wouldn't be doing them. Uh, what? Once upon a time, I saw this person online. I don't remember how we connected. I saw Boom, and I thought, oh, is this Boom Publishing? What is this?
Right.
And so we started communicating by messenger, and it turned out it was this wonderful guy named Richard Boom, all the way over in the Netherlands, and we started talking, and before long, he was bringing me artists and colorists. So he became part of the Glasshouse team, and then that expanded out to him giving advice and concrete help on our Kickstarters. So I want everybody who hasn't had a chance to meet him to meet him today. Let's bring in the amazing Richard Boom.
All right. Hey, Richard.
Yo. But that's really too much credit. Jesus Christ. I'm really blushing here. Blushing.
No, you are seriously one of the nicest guys in comics. I mean,
Oh, shush. No, that's Gibbons. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks. I try to be. The whole thing of being alive is just be friendly to each other, and that's just the basic thing. I really like helping. David knows that, but knows this as well. But Bob Elmond over at Inkwell Awards also knows that, and I mean, I've helped I think 100 and plus people on projects on Kickstarter so far, and I've been helping a lot of people with their press releases, sending out press releases over the years. I mean, it's been so long. It's just fun. It's I don't know why I do it, but it's just fun. It's well, there is this guy. Sorry, I'm rambling already. But there's this guy I was talking to. The neuro-linguistic programming stuff.
Mm.
So we went all the way in, and basically it's my need to be seen. Basically, that's it. And that has to do with my parents getting a divorce and stuff like that. It's not really a big deal in the end. I mean, I'm 50 plus now, and it's no biggie at all anymore. But that's where it's coming from, and I'm not letting that go. I really like to be around and helping people if I can. Yeah.
And I think it's terrific that you do. There are so many artists that have gotten help from you, which I'm sure they appreciate, but people don't realize.
Me included.
People don't realize how great Richard has been behind the scenes. We've done a number of Kickstarters, and he has stepped up to help me through those with organizing and helping me prepare for fulfillment and all that. So thank you, Richard. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
But today, I want people to know all about what Richard is doing on his end from a publisher's standpoint and his own Kickstarters. He has a wonderful, wonderful project called Sisterhood and some other stuff. And Richard, I want to talk about that, but let's, in fact, we should throw up an image or two of Sisterhood so people know what we're talking about. Sexy mummies. Love it.
Let me get to the first. Sorry.
Yeah, there are a lot of images we can browse through already. Yeah.
We'll get back to some of these, but this is some wonderful, wonderful stuff. And but before we get into Sisterhood and your other stuff in depth, how did you get started in all this? I'm sure you had a life in comics before you first talked to me, and I want to learn just like everybody else.
Okay, well, it started way back when the internet was just really cold, and I just discovered that there are people actually. I used to buy comics from the supermarket, and I had no idea there was a team involved, publishers involved. I just bought it, just like someone bought candy. We bought comic books, and then during somewhere in the 90s, I learned that there are actually people, really people publishing, creating, writing, coloring, penciling. I was like, wow, okay. So that was, of course, in 1994, I discovered my first comic book store in the Netherlands, mind you, which imported American comics. And I discovered Top Cow and Dark Child, Witchblade, Darkness. I discovered Vampirella with the Mason Mark Miller, Amanda Connor. Wow, just wow. So it was the Harris era of Vampirella, and I just was mind blown with all of the information I got, and so that's how I was started getting into comics, because I started contacting people on the forums. Back in the days there were still forums, and the creators actually were very active, and so that's how I met for instance Billy Tucci, and he was one of the first persons I invited to come to Belgium, which is if you have the Netherlands here, you have Belgium just sideways below. And so I invited him for Comic-Con that I suddenly, out of the blue, basically started helping with inviting people. So I invited Liam Sharp, I invited Billy Tucci. Those were the first persons I contacted and tried to invite and have fun with. So from getting into contact with people, getting into the Comic-Con itself, and helping with the Comic-Con for 12 years, that's how I really moved into comics more and more as an active person, rather than just a passive collector or reader. So that's how it started, and I also had a Bad Girl fan club, where I shared all the information on Vampirella, Witchblade, but also Miss Marvel or Wonder Woman news. Everything that was a badass girl in comics, I would share that news everywhere. So that was kind of cool to do. But then I took it up a notch with not only doing newsletter, but also doing an editorial at brokenfrontier.com, and then eventually moving to my own website, Comics for Sinners, which is not that active anymore because, publishing and stuff, you just have to make choices. So yeah, it's been an adventure, and it will not stop.
All right. So after you got into this, was Sisterhood your first creator-owned thing that you took public, or did you have other projects before that?
No. Basically, a little step back to the Comic-Con that I held. Because I was working backstage, I started collecting sketches. So from anyone from Eric Basadua to Tyler Kirkham to Joe Linsner to everyone that I invited and that were present there. But also that I didn't invite, but my colleagues invited it as well. So and after I think 150, 160 sketches, commissions, whatever, I had this idea about to do something more with, trying to create a backstory to all this, because I could, see something else happening with this. So I created Sisterhood, and I contacted also a couple of writers. One of the writers you, of course, know because he's in Brazil, Mr. Montero, who also helped me, trying to come up with more backstory than originally I was doing myself. So basically I did the overall creation, and a couple of writers also from the Netherlands, Mr. Kruithof. He and others just helped me delve more into making it more into a universe. And yeah, but it was my first step into really creating something for myself. Yeah. So I started out with the sisterhood. I think I keep it with the sisterhood. The sisterhood is about mummies and monsters, but now I also developed something with the sisterhood of werewolves, and I developed something with the sisterhood and angels or alien angels. So yeah, it's still in the still in my head and not actually on out there as printing goes, but I'm getting.
The
I'm
spin-offs will happen eventually.
I will make my universe complete. Yeah.
There we go.
So, where did the obsession with sexy mummies come from? Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, that was because of the Comic Cons. I remember people like Joe Jusko. I invited Joe Jusko, and I was like, okay, you should do the Vampirella. And I was like, but what is more fun to do something that is already so very known, like Vampirella or Spider-Man or whatever character you want, or do something different. And I was reading this comic book by Justin Gray, with the writer buddy of Jimmy Palmiotti on paper films. And he just wrote something called Vengeance of the Mummy for Moonstone. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm just going to try and ask everyone for a mummy, for a sexy mummy. So yeah, I kept collecting sexy mummies, and everyone, I didn't give any art direction, and I keep getting these amazing pieces. Like, oh, wow! I just asked for a sexy mummy, or I even got sexy mothers, males. Some people just didn't grasp the idea of mummy as in the Universal Monsters universe kind of thing. So yeah, that's how it was developing in my mind, and my collection just grew and grew, and that was the fascination. So it basically was due to my obsession with getting cool sketches by different artists as a memory of them, of me helping them around the Comic Cons.
Oh, that is terrific.
There's everything from memory pieces, even the pieces that I got from your wife, David, are wow, so inspiring, beautiful. That's one. That's
one my wife did.
That's one of the three pieces I have, and they're just so stunning. And basically, I like to think that these are the big thank yous that I get from doing everything. But I also have a piece of Tyler Kirkham just for helping him to get a European tour started.
Mm-hmm.
So they were thankful, and they thanked me with lovely pieces that I could use. So
I think that is phenomenal. You want to tell the viewers a little bit about this world? What aside from the obvious? Okay, it's sexy mummies. What is the concept? What is the storyline?
Okay, basically it's something of Indiana Jones mixed with supernatural, mixed with Charlie's Angels. So basically, that's kind of a mix. That is the vibe. That is the feel that I try to get started with. Later on issue 3, it went more into horror even, or more into self-reflecting, or it evolved, of course, but that's where it started. So basically, it's that in around 1917 there are a couple of there's an archaeologist called Rand that just found and released the spirits of justice, and the spirits of justice went back from a cauldron. When they just flew back in their bodies, and their bodies became re-empowered with the gems of justice, which is basically their power source. And ever since 1917 basically, but also we're also going back. Basically, what they're always doing is fighting monsters. Monsters being bad humans, or monsters being actual monsters. So that's it. Mummies and monsters. That's it. But the fun part for me is, of course, I developed my idea of sisterhood as something that even my kids, who were a lot younger than me, they should be able to also read and like these stories. So all the stories for now are just fun Indiana Jones like action adventure fantasy, a bit horror, some gore sometimes, but it's not nothing like the covers. The covers are just the selling pieces basically, but the interiors are for me, also the fun part to have all kinds of readers that are young and readers and fans that are of adult size. So
Right. Let's show a little slower this time. Let's show some of that wonderful work. Go back to the beginning and let's.
Oh,
Uh,
this is the beginning.
oh,
this
okay.
We're starting with interiors.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we're starting with interiors because also one thing I need to address is that each sisterhood comic book is an oversized 32-page comic book, and each comic it's a one shot. Basically, everything is a one shot, and everything is drawn by a different artist as well. Because that's so. The previous one was done by Marcus van Rentefink, a German guy I know. This is basic issue 2. And the next one is from the crossover with Midnight Witch. That's issue 4. Also amazing artwork. This is issue 3, where one mummy stands up against Nazi werewolves.
Love it.
On the motorcycles and then being transformed into these big mummy-like creatures. Yeah. This is also a short story by a Dutch lady, Renee Rinties, about Tala, one of the mummies, who is actively going against a human trafficker. Yeah. And this is 6 pages on Sisterhood 1. Here you can see the definite Indiana Jones vibe, where in the second shot, everyone is being released. The spirits are released. In the third panel, you see everyone, and the fourth also you see everyone come alive. And in for instance, the last panel, you see last page basically, because there are 6 pages. You see a big fight with with some mob.
I actually got the honor and the privilege of getting to recolor this book. So
yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was not happy with the first colorist in the end, so I had Chris here. Thank you, Chris. Recolor everything, and this is not even the recolor version. So sorry for that.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it was a lot of fun working on this. So
yeah. This is one of the interiors of the mermaid mummy, which I came up with as a concept. And, I had this idea about a sisterhood mermaid mummy and just came up with it. And I started asking around for promotional material. And suddenly I had so much, I even ended up doing an art book first. And now I still need to do the comic first, but I have plans to, because I rewrote the comic script into a book. So I'm gonna try to publish the book next. So, and hopefully, if things go well, the black and white versions, the pencil version or the ink versions, will also be in the line art popping up as chapter breaks, for instance. That's my idea for now. Pedro Perez Pedro is
And
just making everything cute and sexy.
Who
this
did
is
this?
a this is
Who
a
did
great
this?
concept too. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Pedro Perez.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a fantastic concept. This is the first time I've ever heard of a mummy mermaid. So this is original, and it's just a great concept.
and this of course is an homage, basically, to Jose Gonzalez Vampirella, but also with a little heads up to Top Cow using the seahorse instead of the bat.
Yeah, and I got the privilege of coloring this one, so that was fun. A lot of fun, and this one as well.
Yeah, Juanami Teles from Brazil. We all know him as well, David.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Oh, there's some wonderful color on this.
Thank
yeah,
you.
stunning piece. This is Richard Perotto of Perrotta. Sorry.
Yeah, I swear when I was working with Rich every week, he was like, "All right, I got this new sketch. I got this new piece from this new artist. I want you to color." And so there was never a lack of interesting pieces to work on.
Yeah, this is still unknown. This is a piece. I thought someone that I liked. I liked their portfolio online, but it ended up being a scam artist. But in the end, I just gave Chris the final piece, and he upped the ante with some really lovely, like the eye, for instance, and the jewelry and the bubbles. I think it really made this pop way more than original artist, if it's even an artist. I still think it was a huge scam. So
Yeah,
was,
the hands run backwards and things like that. So there's problems with it.
Yeah. These are the covers of the crossover with the Midnight Witch, issue 4. Daniel HDR did the first one, which is a homage between Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Always fun. Then 2 split pieces, one by Brazilian artist Waldo Walido, I think was his name, who ended up doing the interior art for Sisterhood 6, which is going to the printers next week. And then we have a split screen with Gary Parkin from the UK.
Yeah,
Fun guy, by the way. He did a couple of Indiegogos projects, and he did not get any traction, and he wanted to stop his complete career. And I told him, no, you should try Kickstarter and let me help you. So I ended up helping him with his Kickstarters in the beginning. And I think now he did 60 or 70 Kickstarters already, and he's doing everything. He's doing this full time now, so I'm really happy for him.
Yeah,
that all about
this
helping.
piece. This piece was ended up getting me working with Gary for about 2 years, doing colors for Gary. So
right on. True. Yeah. And the final part is again Yonami Teles. This is only a small part of a double-sided cover. Da Vinci's Last Evening.
Mm-hmm. The Last Supper, yes.
The Last Supper, sorry. Yeah. Dinner, supper.
Yeah, that was another fantastic piece.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is Dutch guy, Joren Evers, who did the cover as well for my Mermaid Mummy art book. I have it here as well. Let me check. Yeah, I have it here. So but it's topless. So
that's okay. That's okay. He can throw up a warning for.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Warning.
There you go.
Yeah. And this is the dust cover by Elisu Gouveia from Portugal. Yeah, fun stuff. So The fun part about this second piece here, the first one is by Marcus from Rentevink, but the second and the third one are from Greg Capullo. Also as a thank you for helping him for a Comic Con in Belgium called Facts. So that was
Very
a great.
Very cool.
So I really have, I'm one of the few in the world, I think, that have a Greg Capullo original in their collection. So that was really fun. I'm really honored by that. And this is Eric Basaldua on a massive piece he did as a sketch, just a sketch, and I had a colorist from the Philippines, Lacido, painted digitally. Yeah, awesome job.
Yeah, terrific work.
Yeah. So the first, again, Sisterhood covers, this time for issue 1, with the first one being, again, a homage to Bernini, with the sculpture of Therese.
And that last one, so you are also delving into some cosplay.
Yeah. The last one,
live models.
It was a stretch goal even, because I didn't have any money to do this with, but I ended up doing a lovely cosplay cover for issue 1 due to the stretch goals being met. That was really fun to do. It was amazing. And I did even a collection of all the cosplay artwork I have, and just, collected everything into one massive art book, and that's also coming up is being published or printed in, I think, next week or the week after that. So yeah,
very nice.
Great.
Yeah, this is Vince Altabanas. He's just amazing. He did all these 3 pieces for Sisterhood issue 3.
And okay,
Monty.
this is Monty Michael Moore.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if it was you or Monty that had me do a colored version. I think it was you.
It was me. I just got. He gave me permission to use that piece. He already made it a mummy piece himself, I think, for me as a gift, as a thank you. And yeah, I put it on the cover of a book as well. So yeah, it's Monty. And here we have Greg Williams, aka the Dark One. We all know him from the 90s from Animal Mystic, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And he gave me permission to use that, and it's going to be one of the covers soon, or at least in the upcoming years. But this is also one of the tarot card sets that will be published somewhere in the future as well. I mean, I have a lot of ideas, a lot of plans, but yeah, this is how the tarot card set will eventually look like.
Yeah, and I asked you, I said, where did you get the idea for why a tarot card set? And you just like, why the hell not?
Because basically it's all in the hands of the backers, of course. I mean, without the fans, without the backers, without someone liking art about mummies, there would not be anything to do for me. So once that dries up, it will stop. But that's about it.
All right, and then we have your current project going on.
Oh no! This is one of my older projects. This is through art book, which was indeed funded in 30 minutes. So that was fast. Now, let me warn you. I set low goals, but still fun to read. But basically, because I already have all the artwork, my mind is set like, okay, if I meet, for instance, the goal to send 10 books to the printer, then I'm good. I mean, this is a hobby project for me, mind you, a hobby project. So I can, work with that. And, as you can see here, it's also going to be a book. Yeah, soon. I think next month or so. But I really want to do the fulfillment on at least the two projects I have of myself and the Miss Inkle art book that I'm also hosting before I get into launching this one. But I have so
Okay.
many fun ideas about designing everything, and I just got feedback from the proofreader, and they said, "Oh wow, this is just cool." Not much of a feedback that I can work with, but if he likes it already, I'm cool with that.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
hey, do you have a Kickstarter video?
No, not yet, not yet. Most of the times I just wing it. I just, I just put up. It's just one or two takes, and that for me is the first take. Sometimes I do it more professionally, but most of the times I just wing it.
Well, hey, if you want a video made, we should talk. So,
Okay, cool. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, Chris has done some amazing videos for us, so very happy to work with him every chance I get.
which
Great.
is a lot lately. So,
Yeah, well, it's like what I'm messaging him at 10 in the morning and at 1 in the morning. I put in some long days lately, and he puts up with me, which is amazing. But hey, you put up with me, and that's amazing too. So
Also, love the spinner rack in the back, man.
yeah, hey,
Really cool.
we should talk about the spinner rack for a minute.
Here, I also have the spinner rack here.
Hey, I finally get to see it. Did you have the problems everybody else has been having?
Oh, it's just minor problems, but those were solved fairly quickly. There are some oddities with fastening some screws, but it was just not that big of a deal. So I'm happy as it is. I need to put the top a little higher with some extra fillers, but
Yeah.
that's it. But since my final round, my top round is filled up with ash cans.
Okay.
Basically, I don't really have a significant problem because it's just the ash cans going around and those circle around.
Yeah.
And one thing I did learn is that sometimes the books try to fall through or something. At least the ash cans because they're smaller. It's just you just use a backing board, fold it a bit, and sold. So it's minor things.
Yeah. Well, I'm aggravated by so much of what happened. They had, for those who are gonna watch this video later, uh, they had a fellow aboard named Reed. That was my contact with the manufacturer. And
Yeah.
honestly, he was excellent. He gave detailed answers. We followed through on everything. He oversaw the making of the rack that's behind me. Let's see if I can do this. Hang on.
It spins perfectly.
So the rack behind me was done exactly to my specs.
Yeah.
There were some shipping problems. They didn't pack the boxes as well as they should have. And so there were some damages, but they were minor. And so I gave them specific instructions. I had only two instructions for them on the rack itself. One was to they weren't 100% accurate with boring holes, so there was one that needed drilled through all the way through that wasn't. And I had told them that the nuts that went on the screws, I wanted wing nuts, so they would be easier to put on and take off because we wanted something that could be taken to trade shows or conventions if retailers wanted to do so. Those were the only things I wanted changed. And we went through about the boxing that they were going to double box them, pack them far better than what I got. And he assured me that was all under control. And then by the time they shipped them, Reed wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, he went back to his town to get married. Okay, I assumed that meant he's on his honeymoon, that he'd come back, but obviously that wasn't the case. So I've been dealing with other people who have been less than candid about their situation. They like the instructions that were supposed to be in every box were missing.
Yeah.
And they claimed, oh, he only meant for that we would email them out. And I said, well, you didn't email them out. And he showed me the print files, which apparently she couldn't even find.
Yeah.
And so many of the things were wrong on that score. And then they shipped a rack that did not match my approved specs.
Yeah.
And they made all sorts of excuses. Oh, we needed to better stabilize it, so we made it shorter. We needed to do this. We needed to do that. I said, no, all you needed to do was make sure the holes were bored properly and had wing nuts. Everything else was approved. So what I'm trying to do is everybody who paid for a rack, I want to ship them a new rack. So that, it is expensive to me because I'm going to have to ship out brand new racks to these folks. But I want people to get what I promised, not a rack that they have to fiddle and fudge and so forth. So they've agreed to do that. Now I'm waiting on the piece of paperwork that confirms that they're paying for that and I'm paying for the new shipping. Mm-hmm. So once that happens, I'll be able to make an official announcement, and we'll have a time frame and all that, and I can announce it to everybody.
And also the track and trace, because I've been asking. I'm also helping in the back end a bit on the everything here.
Yeah.
And Jenna, of course, Jenna is magnificent here as well, because there's also a lot of miscommunication happening. So everything keeping on track is and everything, every bit of information is also being double and triple checked by Jenna as well. So she's great there.
Yeah.
But also the track and trace. I've been still asking to give them the track and trace, and they tell me, yeah, you will get them, and nothing happens. So I cannot personally update the backers, sadly, which I wanted to, based on the track and trace that I should have get from them. But if I don't get anything, also there was one shipped by me to my place, and it's standing here, but it just ding dong, here it is. I got no signal, and I got nothing.
Yeah. So everything fell apart after Reed left.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And of course, the stuff that didn't work, they all blamed on Reed. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't match the past 8 months where we've been going through things, and everything he said he would do, he did. And the one rack that was actually manufactured with him overseeing, which is the one behind me, turned out okay. So what they're telling me isn't accurate. So I'm trying to get it all fixed for people. There are a couple of people who ordered off Indiegogo. I think you set that up. Could you let them know that we are trying to get everybody sent a new rack if the first ones didn't work? And I hope that by Tuesday of next week, I'll be able to make the big announcement that we're having all the racks remanufactured. We're going to reship the first batch, and then those that ordered from the second batch will finally get theirs, and they will be the correct rack.
Yeah. I think the people from the Indiegogo were in the second batch. So
okay. If that's the case, then that's actually good.
Yeah, and also all the people that have custom racks, like the
toppers.
The toppers, the signage with their customized font or customized logo. Those are also in the second batch, and those have not shipped yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did
so
did
we're still waiting on
yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Did the one shipped to you have the bag? Did you order the bag with it?
No bag here.
All right,
No.
because I still have not seen the bag. I've seen lots of pictures of the bag. Uh, I saw the first bag that they sent me, and
Okay.
it was a piece of crap. And I said, no, we're not going to use this. So they found me a much better bag that cost me, 3 times as much, but it looked much better in the videos. So I hope it's good. Uh,
Yeah.
the reason I asked, besides wanting to know the quality of the bag for real, was I had printed up there in China, or Reed handled it for me. These tags with the spinner rack logo on
Yeah.
it that
Yeah.
were to be connected to the zipper of every bag.
Yeah. I got that
Uh,
one.
you did get a tag?
That
Okay.
looks lovely. Very
Okay.
sturdy. Very with not with nylon or anything of it was really solid. You have to really connect it with a little screws,
Yeah.
and they're just awesome. I just put them in the rack, of course, itself, because I'm not
Okay.
using
I,
it.
I I
But
was
it's
curious because
really
I've
cool.
seen pictures and it looked good,
Yeah.
but I it bothered me. Yesterday I got an email from them saying, "Hey, we have 72 of these. What are these for?"
There's a bit of miscommunication. I think there are a lot of moving parts, human-wise, and in the factory. And and the person that really connected everything was Reed, and Reed has left, and now we're sitting with what's her name? She
Joyce.
Joyce, and Joyce is trying to, but
Yeah, yeah.
but,
But
but
Joyce, if
yeah.
she doesn't know, Joyce is like AI. If she doesn't know an answer, she'll make up some shit.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. So,
yeah, true.
is there going to be, with all the problems of the manufacturing of the first rack, is there ever going to be a mini rack in the future?
If they get this one correct, yes.
Okay.
I worked with Reed. We already designed the new rack.
Yeah,
I have all the specs. The new rack, which we have not built a prototype yet, but the new rack will sit less than half high, so it'll be, I can't see it, about yay high from the desk. It will hold 3 comics on each side, so 12 total as it spins around, and the topper will be 4x6 index card style. And we were looking at 2 versions of it that Reed was supposed to eventually make for me, which would have 4 of the toppers at 4x6 style, and another one where it was just going to be 2.
yeah,
And I wanted to have both made so that I could see what looks better. And actually put it on a desk and say, all right, if I were at a convention, is it better to have 2? Is 4 going to be overwhelming and just look cluttered? Or would that be better? I want to actually see one before I make that decision. And if all goes well, then next summer I would be doing a Kickstarter for the tabletop rack. Frankly, it's a year later than I was expecting to do it, because I thought all the racks should be fulfilled now, and I'd be doing the spinner in the summer and be shipping by now. Okay, well, that manufacturer decided to screw it up, so
yeah,
Well,
it's got to be right
yeah,
before I go the next step.
yeah.
I'm
I,
I'm
I also
really looking for. Oh, go ahead, Rich. Sorry.
Yeah, I also think that once this is completed, and this limbo version is everything settled, we should also trying to launch a second Kickstarter and a second and one on Indiegogo as well.
Yeah,
Again, So just get more word out and see how that's going.
Of course.
I think I
Worth it.
absolutely
Because
love the
yeah,
idea of the mini
it's
spinner rack.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's a fantastic idea. I could just see that at conventions, like one
yeah,
on each side of the table, and it's just a really great idea. So I love that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And what's interesting to me is, sometimes I'm clueless. I wanted the big rack because I had and still have in my storage room two of the old classic black spinner racks, and absolutely uh, have loved having that. And I went to New York Comic Con and was showing showing around pictures and video of the rack I have here, and asking for feedback. And that's where I got news from the folks that what they'd really like for conventions is this half-size rack, and how small can we get it folded down to?
Hmm.
And so that was the whole experiment there to see what we could do. We figured out a way and made it cost effective and all that, but just I am not going to feel comfortable or confident moving forward until I have exactly the right thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it
First steps first. I mean, this
yeah,
is not like designing comic books or writing comic books. This is something else
yeah.
entirely. Oh, here you
So,
have it.
so we were experimenting here. Okay, do we want something at the top that's going to go all the way around? And I said, no, no, that's too complicated. We want something where somebody can just drop in a 4x6 index card. If they want to put prices up there, they can do it right there at the show. I don't
Yeah.
have an index card, like piece of paper. I fold it down into quarters. Here, stick it in there. So I wanted it to be
Easy
as yeah,
going.
as easy as possible for people.
Yeah.
I almost think you should have done the mini rack first.
Well, realize that I had
Woulda, shoulda.
yeah, yeah. I didn't even know until I went to New York Comic Con that would be something a lot of the artists there would like. So it was based on that feedback that I came back and said, all right, I need to start on this. Here's what I'm thinking. And I did my spec, sent it to them, and they did me a more professional version than my chicken scratches. Um, exactly. Um, yeah. So anyway, so that's where we are with that. They were showing me different stuff that they've already done, and I said, okay, that's the right idea, not the right size, of course.
Hmm.
But I
Right.
want it that strong, I want it that sturdy, but I want a topper on it so that the people at shows can put in their signage, and it's gotta fit a comic book or a graphic novel in boarded and with a bag.
Yeah.
So
What I actually like about this spinner rack is because it's really heavy. You have the gravity working with you on this. It's a really the base is really good and sturdy. So
yeah,
it will not topple over. It
yeah,
will keep swinging. I mean, I have it with the hardcover books of the Sisterhood filled with the hardcovers of it, and it will not topple. It's
yeah.
perfect. The,
Yeah, the large one that you have,
large one.
certainly the one I have here,
Yeah.
weighs exactly the same as the old classic spinner racks that
Yeah.
had to endure for years in stores.
Yeah.
And so I wanted something that was really going to work, and so I think people are going to, by the time we're done,
Yeah.
people will have the rack that I promised,
Yeah.
even though it's going to cost me God. Last estimate was $5,000 more to reship those racks.
Ouch.
And so I wasn't at the quantity that we sold in the original Kickstarter. If you close your eyes and squint, I almost broke even.
Yeah.
Close your eyes and squint. But this will put me definitely in the red, which means that I've got to get it done right. But I would rather go in the red than have someone in the long run say, okay, he delivered me an inferior rack and didn't do anything about it. No,
Right.
I got to fix it to make it's got to be right.
Yeah.
So
You don't want people going, yeah, that Kim Petey, he's a bum. Yeah.
I'm sure there's enough people who do that now, but that's usually folks who didn't like their portfolio reviews. But I don't want it to extend into anything else. So that's it for our TED Talk about
So, Rich, we had discussed briefly before we came on, and we like to ask creators this because the subject of AI, and
Oh
because
yeah.
you bring up AI and comicdom in general, like pulls out the pitchforks and the torches, and they're like, burn the monster, So that's the general consensus about AI right now, and I'd like to get your opinion on it.
Okay. Okay. Well, first off, AI is bad. AI. First of all, AI is not really AI, right? We all know that
right.
AI it is more like machine learning than
Yeah.
real AI, like in the movies.
It
So
is artificial, but there's no intelligence.
no, there's no intelligence. It's really fast, but it's still like if you put you try typing on your telephone, and they will give you already the next word. You know, it just it's like that, but then 1,000 times stronger. But period. That's it.
Yeah.
So first of all, if they're using artwork, really artwork from people I know, like for instance Joe Jusko or Iris Compete here in the Netherlands, or anyone that we all know and love, and you say I want this in that style, and they're really misusing and in my eyes stealing that artwork to create something that looks like that but is not yours. I think that's just pure plagiarism, period. Having said that, there are also good things about that, but more in understanding that you can use AI as a tool. I use AI, for instance, as an extra person, going back and forth on an idea. What about this? What about this? If I think about this, what do you think about? I like to treat them like this third person I'm chatting with, and sometimes that helps with my brain farts, and I have a shitload of brain farts, so it just helps. But also in art, for instance, if you already have your art and you want it resized, for instance, for a different thing, like for instance here, I have this lovely piece by Eric Basadua, but it now is a dust cover. So how the hell do you do an A3 piece into this? Well, and then you tell AI, well, just try and figure out how to
Continue the background and so forth.
yeah. So now I have something. It's not. I'm not using it for the real Eric Basadua artwork of the mummy. I use it for the background stuff and make it more a different size. So I have it like an assistant.
So
that's workable for me.
yeah. So one of the things we've been discussing here was we hate the idea that AI is basically scraping everybody else's graphics and stealing the stuff.
Yeah.
So we've said, okay, no published work with you know, being used in place of real artists. And Chris and I have been focusing on what if we put AI tools in the hands of real artists that are working on this stuff. So, as example, I did a graphic novel with Tina Francisco, Thundersars.
Yeah.
What if we get Tina Francisco's concept art, Tina Francisco's character designs, Tina Francisco's turnarounds of these images,
Yeah.
and then use AI with Tina Francisco checking every step of it to create animation from,
Mm.
not to be released in place of real animation, but
Mhm.
let's say to be used to show a potential investor
Yes.
an example of what it could look like. Because we don't have $250,000 to uh, do that introductory animation.
Yeah.
But if it's going to go to him and he's going to say, okay, I'll give you $250,000 to do a real trailer, and then we can, get 40 million in funding. Great, wonderful. It
Yeah.
Yeah.
seems like
So
a process, but it has to have the real artists involved.
True, but
yeah.
now you're using it as a tool based on the artwork you already have, instead of using other people's art and without their consent, which is completely different. And
Yeah,
you're using it indeed because you're not your money wrangler yourself. I mean, you just don't can cannot print money and just hand it out, of course.
Right.
So and in making this into an extra project, yeah, I think that is workable. I think that that's not morally disgusting or anything, because it helps everyone involved, including, of course, the original creator and the original artist. You being one of the creators, and Tina being one of the
yeah,
artists here. But it also goes like for instance, I remember going on my first round on Kickstarter. I had nothing in color. I had this amazing artist, Diego Loyola, in Brazil, who offered me to say, okay, I will draw everything. So I had everything done in pencils, but without me paying him. So that was great. Uh, he said, okay, I'm just doing this because I like you, and uh, then you pay me when your Kickstarter pays off, which was a chance. But you went with it. But I didn't have any coloring, for instance. Nowadays, I see that, for instance, you can use programs to color your artwork, for instance, which, if you put a sign beneath it, not original coloring art, for instance,
yeah,
but at least you have an idea about how you want the real colorist, the human colorist, finishing it in the end when you have your Kickstarter money, for instance. I think that works. I
Yeah.
think that's okay. I mean, I didn't have anyone coloring my art for other than 2 or 3 pages. Ceci de la Cruz eventually did the coloring, 3 color pages, which were great. But when time came to really get into the coloring phase, Ceci de la Cruz sadly was not available anymore, or I couldn't pay her because she was that good. Uh, one of those.
yeah.
At least that way you can work in the process. I think that's okay enough.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But also, I think that even a publisher bigger than me or bigger than you, even David, can handle that responsibly. I
Yeah.
think that then you're still using it as a tool and
Yeah.
not
It works.
plagiarism.
It works great for proof of concept
Yeah.
stuff. And another application that we found that is very, very doable is something like this. A little glitchy right now. Sorry, I apologize. Let's try this again.
We tried doing this one other time and it all glitched. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Well, so it works it really good as a concept for motion comics. Yeah, it's still glitching, so I apologize.
Yeah,
But
I've done something like that for the Mermaid as well. I think. Let me see if I can find it. Chat amongst yourselves, and then I'll try
Yeah.
to I'll try to find it because
Yeah.
that is just fun, but fun as a little bit of entertainment.
Yeah, the subject we've been wrestling with here, is there a way officially to do something that is ethical AI so that no artists are being stolen from? And so it seems like the simplest way to get there is for us not to use it for still images, no covers, no interiors, none of that, but it to be an animation assistance tool.
yeah,
or or,
absolutely. Yeah.
or as Chris had said, possibly for some concept stuff. Tossing around ideas in it, as you were saying, to come up with something. Oh, okay, this is a starting point that the artist can then use as a finish,
Yeah.
which isn't much different to my mind than an artist going on Google and going through photos and stuff to find a photo or something else that he can reference to do his or her artwork.
Yeah. Same. I think so. So I cannot find it.
That is fine.
Too many photos on my screen here. But yeah, I think then if I mean, we're professionals. We love the art that artists are doing. So I think uh, we know where's the limit, where's the boundaries, and when are we taking advantage of an artist, coloring, penciling, inking, whatever, or is it being used as a tool to help everyone involved?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest hurdle is going to be acceptance. It's going to be getting people to be like, I can see your point there, and I can see that you're using it as ethically as possible, and
Yeah, but
the comics community as a whole is okay with it.
yeah, but let's try to be vigilant. I've been watching the feedback on Dragon Con about those people using AI in the artist alley, and if they're misusing AI and using it as themselves being artists, no, that's not working. You're not doing prints based on your prompts. Sorry, that's just not the way a magician works. Sorry, I mean artists, of course. So they removed those people, and that's perfect. I was part of a Belgian convention called Geek Village over here, and they found out that one or two people were also using AI to print directly on mouse pads, I think, or prints or mugs or anything. So yeah, not gonna happen. Bye bye.
And
Yep.
I think that's the right way to go.
Yeah,
We've got to protect our artists.
that's the
Yeah.
message. That's
Yeah.
the message. Protect the artists and use it as tool. Use it for concept art. Use it,
Yeah.
to get money, make money, and then eat, sleep,
Yeah.
and repeat. Right?
Yeah. I don't see the value for it. Doesn't help an artist to use it for any kind of still images until the artists they're stealing from are properly paid.
Yeah.
And if that's not going to happen in the near future, then there's no value to it. It only hurts artists. So protecting those artists is what's crucial.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the thing that we can do. But we have bigger problems when bigger parties, bigger companies are using AI as part of their art tool and art design, and that is just hurting on a lot of. I remember that Marvel got a lot of bad feedback on Secret Invasion on the television series because
Yep.
everything was AI. Later on, they explained, yeah, it might look AI, but we spent hours and hours on human artwork, paid artwork, everything. But it got a big of backlash. Not really, I think. I hope, at least. I don't know all the ins and outs on that, but
yeah. Well, the mistake I think was they used it for their final product.
yeah,
And
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
and it looked too AI.
yeah, and so it could have been used to develop the concepts, and
Yeah,
then but um, it really needs to be a tool like Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or artists going into Google SketchUp to pull down backgrounds that they can adapt,
yeah,
or Manga Studio or any of that stuff. If it becomes a tool like that, fine. If it gets misused in place of artists, then that's the real problem.
Yeah.
that's
And
yeah,
people need to realize the difference between the one button clickers that just click a button, image produce, whatever, that's what they use, and the hours and hours and hours that go into using that as a starting point to get to an end product that is usable.
And when we're looking at doing say the video stuff that I'm working with Chris to develop here,
yeah.
uh, it's astounding the amount of hours because not only are all the attempts to get the type of moving imagery that we want off the um,
What's the step here?
yeah, off of Tina's artwork and so forth, but also the compositing and all the editing time and the going back and forth. Oh God, what are we at? 100 hours, 200 hours,
Oh,
something on this.
probably more than that.
Oh my God, yeah. So it's harder to edit than actual animation or the live action. And there's so much compositing just to get something that's used just to for the purpose that we're looking at it for. But
Yeah,
anyway, I think we've taken a lot more of your time than I thought we would. I apologize for that.
no,
Uh,
no, no problem.
yeah, so thank you so much for coming aboard today. It has been a real treat to have this much time to talk to you, which is probably the longest you and I have ever had a video chat. So thank you for that.
It's been peachy. It's been peachy, guys. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Rich. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Let's do it again.
All right,
All right. You have a
later.
great rest of your night.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.
Well, that was terrific. Hey,
That was.
does your connection work for the next part?
Yes, it does. Let's see
Woohoo!
here. We got.
Hey, there we go. All right, we'll do portfolio reviews, but first, there's more. I want to talk a bit about the Kickstarters we've been doing. We completed last week the Kickstarter for the hardcover versions of Legends of the Stargazers, of which we have got two of the covers here. But we did three different hardcovers of it, and we are going to be sending out the surveys as soon as I can figure out what button to click. So it could be today. And if all goes well, because the books have arrived and we are ready to fulfill already.
All
So,
right.
so want to get that info out to people so surveys can come in, and then we can start getting books out the door right away. Our new,
So,
yes, go
oh,
ahead.
so I know on Indiegogo you can have a campaign that extends past the deadline, and people can still purchase products and contribute to it.
Yep.
So, is that something you are doing, or in the
Yes, yes.
works,
It
or
is on
okay?
Kickstarter, not Indiegogo, but yes.
But
Uh,
are you going to do an Indiegogo like that?
I don't know. So far, I haven't dealt with Indiegogo. Richard uh, put up the one for the racks that we've been doing. If he has the time, then the answer will be yes. We'll put it up on Indiegogo too.
Okay.
If he doesn't have time, then the answer is no because I don't have. The new Kickstarter that we have launched, um, which was yesterday, is for this baby, the Skyclad. That's a nice wraparound.
Right.
Uh, that is for the Skyclad hardcover. We did a trade paperback with a regular cover and a new variant that did nicely on Kickstarter, but we got a lot of response along the lines of, "Why'd you just do this as a trade? Why didn't you do it as a hardcover or some kind of upscale format?" So we did the same oversized absolute edition format that we did for Mike Deodato's Jade Warriors. So it's the 8.5 by 12.5 with the slipcase, and it has the library binding, so you get a different cover underneath.
Oh, that is just gorgeous, man. That is fantastic.
Yeah. So this is the Kickstarter. It's running now. We launched it at 6 p.m. yesterday. Do you have the link for people? If
Uh, yeah. Let me grab it here.
all right. And so this is a project that I'm very glad to be able to put up there. I mean, Michael Dukavich's work, I think, is phenomenal. The book is terrific, and we had the files in such high resolution that we were able to upsize it to do the absolute, and it looks absolutely great.
Yeah, it's just a gorgeous book. And if you're into like stripper witches, hey, this this is your thing.
Yeah, well, this ended up being a project that I did quite a while back with my lifelong friend Scott Rockwell, who, for reasons unknown, almost unknown, he decided to write it under the pen name of Marianne Evans. Marianne Evans was a writer many years ago who ended up writing under a male pseudonym to get work published. So he decided to flip the reality on that. And
So
then,
there's the link in the comments.
okay, fantastic. Uh, yes, yes, yes. Can you bring that page up?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
Let me just share that page then here.
fantastic. So
Let me see here.
I haven't looked since early this morning, so I'm not even sure what we're up to.
We are at 6,032, and we got 29 days to go. So
Yeah, so we are 20, a little over 20 hours into the first day because we launched it at about 6 o'clock last night.
yeah, so which is fantastic.
Okay, I guess it didn't come up.
Oh, hold on. I got to open up a new window here. I didn't have
All
it
right.
ready. I apologize.
Aha. Oh, I'm going to speak to the manager about this.
Right? Fire that guy.
Oh my.
Yeah, just be a second here.
All right. And then we'll get to a portfolio review and then wrap this up. It's amazing. It's fantastic. Is it? Ta-da. Okay.
One second, it'll be right here. Share
Okay.
screen. There we go. Is it showing?
Nope, not yet.
All right.
3, 2, 1, blast off. Okay, we're having technical problems here.
Where in the world is it? Oh, here it is. There we go. I'm sorry. Is that the right one?
No, it is not. Nope, that's the old one. That is for the trade paperback.
Here we go. That's the right one right there.
Yep.
Okay, that is the right one.
Woohoo!
So you want me to play the video?
Sure.
Okay.
No sound? Okay. So that's what it's about. The story covers 300 years of the history of witchcraft and deals with one woman's life through that and how she got her power and the person who taught her is it turned out was grooming her to gain that power so that she could then steal it.
So that had no sound, right?
Yeah, I had no sound, but that's all right.
Okay, I got to figure that one out.
Yeah, we'll get it to work for next time. Anyhow, that's the Kickstarter. I hope people will check it out and like it enough to pledge. Let's look at a portfolio. Just pick one of the ones I sent you. And we'll go.
All right, here we go.
All right. So this is a fellow that had some very nice color. Let me make this large on my screen so I see what I'm talking about. There we go.
And this is a colorist portfolio.
Yes. Yeah. And that was part of the problem with the portfolio. He put his name in the PDF file name, and it, you know how I usually do this. I'll get various portfolios. I'll download them, and then when I have a moment, I'll go in and I'll look at them, and then eventually find the email and respond.
Right.
I looked at this and went back and started typing. You know, I liked the some of the coloring in it, but my God, almost every shot looks like it's taking place at night. So I'm not so thrilled with all the coloring, but I really like the artwork. And then I realized he didn't do any of the artwork. But of course, you couldn't tell from the PDF because he didn't put in the file name that was the coloring portfolio. And there was no page one contact information that allowed me to figure out that he was only the colorist. But once I realized it, I could go back and comment. And I did like this coloring, you know, even though it was technically a night scene, he didn't make it so damn dark.
Right.
And I thought all this worked, and that worked pretty well. But once he got beyond that, I just thought it got muddy, and
Right.
I wasn't impressed by muddy. You know, part of it is I grew up on comics that were bright enough, but just because you can make everything dark and moody doesn't mean you have to.
Right. And
especially when you've got bright, you know, superhero stuff going on.
Yeah. And there's a colorist rule that, what is it, like, never have more than 30% black in your colors. Like the only pure black on the page should be in the inks.
Yeah. Yep. And so this is, yeah, yeah, you can do a couple of shots like this, and this will justify it, a page like this, because the only light in the room is the flashlight and a little bit of light or whatever's coming in through that window or venting or whatever it is. Um, so that's not so bad, but I get out here and it's like, couldn't we have had some sunlight? So it's just everything is heavier, more saturated than it ought to be. And
Right.
I don't, uh, how can fire not be bright?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any direct light source in the rendering, or
Yeah,
not much anyway, of these pages.
yeah. So, he showed, back here. And by the way, when I thought this was his art, I didn't get to that last page that had Yvonne Rice's name on it. I didn't get that far before I started doing responses because I do a quick go through and then I go back and then page by page I look through. So uh, the color sense I didn't mind, but I'd be tempted to go into Photoshop and just start changing brightness and upping it 10 or 20 or 30% to see how it plays. And I've been surprised at how many colorists send me stuff that if I do just that, it becomes work we could use.
Right. And
Uh,
the thing about digital coloring is when you're looking at the screen, it's bright, and it doesn't, even as close as you get to like pure black, it still looks brighter on the screen, and they don't realize how that's going to translate into print.
which is a pretty big problem because I tell my colorists, generally speaking, um, colors will end up about 10% darker on paper than they will on your screen.
Right.
And oh well, I haven't had that problem. Well, that problem is going to get worse in real life if these folks color in RGB and then convert to CMYK, because it's never a clean conversion. There is no solid black when your colors are based on red, green, and blue.
Right.
It's worse if they color in RGB. So
Yeah.
that said, colors generally, because they're on the screen, as you well know, you've got the phosphors or whatever behind them, giving an underlighting to all the color, which brightens everything, as opposed to the color just sitting on ink sitting on a page.
Yes.
There's no light source underneath that page, so it's going to come out a little darker. So if the colors look too dark, too saturated to me in the portfolio that I'm viewing online, I know there's going to be a print problem down the road.
Yeah. And
So,
if you're a colorist watching this, if you get a page in RGB, um, make sure you convert it to CMYK before you color it. And before you separate the line art and all that stuff. Yeah. Convert it before. Don't do it after you color.
yeah, good advice. Good advice. But so a guy like that we just looked at, there are a few things in there. There's a one cover I liked. There were a couple of pages at the beginning with Batgirl. And then as I got further into the portfolio, things just got too dark. So I would probably test him out with a color or I'm sorry, a cover or a pinup or a couple of pages to see what he'd do off something that I can art direct
Right.
and see how it turns out. And if that would work, then I would see about offering him to clients to get him some work. And I'd start him with a smaller client to see how that turns out before I offer him to the bigger guys.
Yes. Which
Yeah.
is That's smart.
Yeah,
Very smart to do.
yeah. It's like I don't want the I don't want Glass House to look bad, but I also don't want the artist to shoot himself or herself in the foot if they get a big company's job and just muck it up.
Right. And what people don't realize is, and what a lot of artists don't realize is that these artists that are sending you portfolios, right? And this is from personal experience too, they spend a lot of time on those pages just to get them so they think they're perfect. And they might never have actually worked in the pipeline on a comic book.
Yeah.
And so they have no idea how that goes. And so that's why it's smart of you, of course, to start them small.
Yeah.
So they can get used to that workflow.
Well, I've also had cases of colorists, some that we work with, that have been working for small companies. And then they get a body of work hoping that we can take their income to the next level by getting them into the bigger publishers. And they'll send me this stuff and I start giving them reviews. It's like, but I'm already getting work. I'm already doing it. And yeah, you're getting work from the C-level publisher, but you've come to me wanting to get to the A and B publishers because you can't seem to break in yourself. I'm giving you the reason why you're not getting the work from the A and B publishers. So if you want to work with me, let's go through the process. Let's get your work to the level that it needs to be so that when I offer it to those publishers, it's a yes. You don't get two chances to make that first impression. So I want it to be right when it gets into the editor's hands.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, we have another portfolio if you want to look at that one.
Next week. We're
okay. All right.
We're at a full hour and a half and then some here. So let's we're right at about an hour and a half. That's good.
Yeah, we are. Okay. Perfect.
All right, so let's wrap this. I do not have a locked in guest for next week, but I'm talking to a couple of people and we will see how that goes because one of them, it was a health issue to get them in sooner, but we will see how they are next week. But I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yes, we will have someone fantastic, guaranteed. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a great show and been great having you. Please remember to like, share, and comment on Facebook and YouTube. That really helps us out. And everybody have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye.